to submit to labor when they become of age.
You see that? And that's what's going on today. But it gets even deeper. Let's continue to read. Understanding is what?
Understanding is the best thing. Therefore, we shall go deeper into this area of subject matter concerning what we have produced here in this breaking process of the female nigger.
Read on.
We have reversed.
They have what?
We have reversed.
They have done what?
We have reversed the relationships. In the natural, uncivilized state, she would have a strong dependency on the uncivilized nigger male.
So notice that these Europeans understood that in our natural state, that the man is supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the one that guide, protect, and provide for the home. But they said no. In her natural state, she will depend on him, right? But what did they do?
And she would have a limited protective tendency toward her independent male offspring and would raise the female offspring to be dependent like her. Nature had provided for this type of balance.
Now notice that it says nature provided for that balance though, right? But it really was the Most High that provided for that balance. Again, we have to have order in our homes for our homes to function properly. This ain't no women beating. This ain't no none of that. We have to have proper order. This is why we having the problems we having today. But continue to read.
We reversed nature.
They did what?
We reversed nature, burning and pulling one civilized nigger apart and bullwhipping the other to the point of death. And all in her presence. By her being left alone, unprotected, with the male image destroyed.
With the what?
With the male image destroyed.
Now when you look at that, it says that the male image is destroyed. Where are these pictures at of our brothers out here? Huh? It says the male image is destroyed. When our sisters, for the most part, think about a brother, what do you think? He a dog. He ain't no good. Huh? That's how they look at us, right? Because we are the image of the so-called black man has been destroyed. We don't know how to be men. We don't know how to lead our homes. We don't know how to be self-dependent. We depend on these Europeans. We depend on the Arabs, so on and so forth. So we're out of order. So it says the male image what?
Destroyed. The ordeal caused her to move from her psychological dependent state to a frozen independent state.
A what?
A frozen independent state.
Notice that. So it says now our sisters are in a frozen independent state. So what do they say? The sisters say, well, I'm an independent woman. I'm a strong independent black woman, right? Ain't that what they say? But the fact of the matter is you're not supposed to be independent. We're supposed to be a cohesive unit working together, male and female. That's the only way it's going to materialize into a nation. Ain't that what y'all want? Ain't y'all tired of being a part of a nation that don't care about you? Well, it starts at the home. And we got to get that back together. Give me that Isaiah 3 and 12 again. Oh, no problem.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. Oh, my people.
He said, oh, my people. Notice what the Most High says.
They which lead thee cause thee to err.
You see that?
And destroy the way of thy path.
Notice that. So when Mr. Willie Lynch in 1712 put this program down for all the slave masters, they was going out of their way to destroy our paths. Give me Jeremiah 16 and 16. Because at the end of the day, these Europeans understand who we are. They know that we are the true children of Israel. They know that we are the true chosen people of the Most High. This is why they spend millions of dollars in theaters giving you false movies with false images. All right? Like 2015, I think, not even then, 2016, they had another movie called The Son of God come out. And what did the Messiah look like? Did y'all see that movie when it came out? What did the Messiah look like? Y'all know what it looked like. Bring it out. Bring it out. It looked like this. The same lie that the one that they call Jesus Christ is a white man. And that's a lie. Big time. When you go into the scriptures, it's clear cut that he was a man of color. Just like his nation was. The whole nation of Israel was a people of color. But they spend millions telling you lies otherwise. Let's show our people something. Jeremiah 6 and 16.
16.
Jeremiah chapter 16 verse 16.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Most High, stand you in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths.
Ask for what?
Ask for the old path.
The Most High is calling for the so-called black man, woman, and child to ask for the old paths. What is the old path? Anybody tell me out there, what is the old path? My brother, what do you think the old path is? You have no idea, huh? Because we lost it, right? And it's obvious, right? Give me Jeremiah 17:4. Right now we at the so-called African American Fest, and we're trying to find some heritage, some culture. You know what I'm saying? Attach back to Africa and what have you, right? But the thing is, they don't go deeper into the history of who we are. Like, for example, we got this book right here called Hebrewisms of West Africa. Right? In this book right here, talk about y'all. You good? In this book right here, my brother, it said Hebrewisms of West Africa. Where did they take us from when they brought us from Africa? Do you know? West Africa. Ghana, Sierra Leone, you know what I'm saying? So on and so forth. All those different regions of West Africa. That's where they took us from. So you had this European go over there in Africa and like, wait a minute. How do these so-called African tribes, the Fulani, right? The Ashanti, the Bantu, all these different tribes, how do they have customs of ancient Israel? You know how? Because the Most High chased us up out of our land and we went down into Africa. But that's one of the pieces of history that they have never give us in the schools. They'll never tell you how you ended up in Africa. They just say it started in Africa and that's it. Right? But read what you got. Jeremiah 17:4.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee.
Notice that. He's talking about Judah. He said you're going to discontinue from the heritage that he gave you. This is, again, why we're running around at African American Fest trying to find out who we are. Trying to attach, trying to get some incense, some good smelling oils, you know, hear some drums banging, things that we can relate to. But that they don't give us who we really are. Read.
And I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which was.
Huh? What did they do to us? They put you on a slave ship, naked, right? Stacked on top of each other, urinating, what have you, all on each other, right? Didn't care about you at all. Would a friend do that? Absolutely not. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
He shall do what?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Most High promised that he was going to bring the true children of Israel into Egypt again with ships. Egypt was a symbolic of bondage. Get me Exodus 20:2 to show the people that. Hold what you got in the Deuteronomy and get that. Egypt was representation of bondage. So like when you look at this, right? On the back of everybody's dollar bill, you got what? Why did the European go out of his way to put down Egyptian symbology? Why he do that? Why he named Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee? Why do the Washington Monument look like an obelisk that comes from ancient Egypt? Let me see why. Read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the house of what?
Bondage.
You see that? So Egypt represents bondage. Go back to where you at, Deuteronomy 28:68. We were the ones that was in Egypt back then in chains, brother. We're working for Pharaoh. Moses came in there to say, let our people go. And now we find ourselves in modern day Egypt all over again. You understand what I'm saying? And these Europeans, they know it, and they go out of their way to make sure you don't know it. But the Spirit of the Most High, he promised in the end, he was going to bring that truth out. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen.
Notice that. What is bondman, bondwoman when you translate it in the simple terms? Slave man, slave woman. So they ain't just had the men on there, they had the women on there as well. So we want y'all to, study, brother. You know what I'm saying? Look into it. You a child of Israel. How you doing, sister? All right, no doubt. How you doing, my sister, standing right here? What made you stand right here and listen?
This is my second time.
This your second time around?
When I came in, I stopped. Now I'm leaving, I stopped.
Okay, all praises. So what did you get out of it? What are you getting out of what you're hearing today?
I just stopped just a second ago here. But earlier they were talking about different foods you eat.
Right. Okay.
And he already asked.
No, we're trying to engage all our people. Ain't no big thing. We ain't trying to pick on you. But at the end of the day, we coming out here, bring forth that truth that's been hidden from us.
Oh, yeah.
They've been keeping a lot of things away from us. So like you talk about the dietary law, we've been eating so many different things that destroy us big time.
Oh,
Like for
absolutely.
example, who just died a few days ago? An so-called icon of Detroit. Aretha Franklin at 76 years old. That ain't really long, to be honest with you. All right? But at the end of the day, you can guarantee 9 times out of 10 she attracted a lot of disease based on diet. Because we don't go by the dietary law. You understand? So the Most High, when He created us, He put everything down that we would need to sustain our body.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's a sad thing. Everybody about to gather for the sister funeral and all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's sad. My grandmother died at 67 from hypertension, heart failure.
She was on dialysis, all of that. You know what I'm saying? But again, we're not abiding by
what the Most High told us to do. We got to keep the Most High's law. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So go back to that. You got that Jeremiah 6 and 16. Go back to that real quick. Because our people need to know, what is the old path? Because we don't understand that. We don't really know who we are. We running around, we're African Americans. I'm colored, I'm a Negro. And it's deeper than that. And they know it. Trust and believe. Read what you got.
Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Thus saith the Most High, stand you in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths. Where is the good way?
Where is what?
Where is the good way?
You see that? So he said, ask for the old paths. Where is the good way? There is a good way that we're supposed to be walking, and it's the Most High's law, statutes, and commandments. Exodus 20, on a basic level. Like, we all can agree that we're supposed to keep the 10 commandments, right? Somebody name me some of the 10 commandments we're supposed to keep.
Thou shalt not kill.
Huh?
Thou shalt not
Don't kill, right? What else?
Thou shalt not steal.
Don't steal, right? And we know that's rampant in the so-called black man's community.
We kill with no problem, right? No problem at all.
But the Most High told us not to do that. Read.
The book of Exodus chapter 20, and pick it up at the first verse.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spake all these words, saying, I am the Most High thy power, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
See that? So one of the first commandments that the Most High put down, he said, don't have no other gods before him. Who is this guy right here? Just be honest. I ain't putting nobody on blast, but be honest, who is this? Huh? I'm gonna come on up. Who is this, sister? Be honest. That's Jesus, right? Do you believe he looked like that?
No.
What do he look like then? Huh? I think he probably was a little bit darker than me. But nonetheless, he was a brother of color, right? And to prove that, it's right here in the scriptures. Get it out. I see you on fire. Bring that out. We're gonna come right back to the Exodus 20. Dave, what you got?
The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the path with a golden girdle. His hands and his hairs were white like wool.
They were what?
White like wool.
So the Messiah, the true Messiah, as read in the book of Revelations, was seen in a vision by John on the Isle of Patmos. He seen him with woolly hair, and it was white, all gray, representation of wisdom, right? They said it was white like what?
White like wool.
Now, if anybody on the face of the earth can just be honest, right? The European that calls himself a Jew, do he got woolly hair? Be straight up honest. He don't. Who got woolly hair? Well, y'all sisters don't put the perm in it. You get it wet. What do it look like? Nice wool. Now, what the European was slick and did, he made us believe that that was ugly. He called your hair nappy, right? Kinky, and all of this. But guess what? The Most High Son looks like that. And we're going to show you a scripture where the Most High himself is sitting up there with a nice afro. They probably think that sounds crazy, right? But we're going to show it. Continue to read what you got. No, stay where you at.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass.
Speak like what?
Like unto fine brass.
It said his feet was like fine brass. What's the color of brass, my sister? Huh? Copper looking, like a penny, right? What color is a penny? Let's just be real. Huh? It's brown. Right? So here it is. We got the Messiah sitting there described as a man with woolly hair and brown skin. Ain't that something? But do they teach us that in the church, the schools? No. And then they turn around and give you all these Hollywood films of Israelites, even the so-called Egyptians. And we ain't Egyptians, by the way. We are the children of Israel. They even made them white. To show you the grand deception. You understand? Read what you got. Daniel 7 and 9.
Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit.
Now notice, the Ancient of Days is a title for the Most High God that created everything. Read what you got.
Whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like the pure wool.
Wait a minute. Did that say the Most High's hair was like pure what?
And the hair of his head was like the pure wool.
It said that the Most High himself is sitting there with pure, woolly hair. But these Europeans, they give you the picture of Zeus talking about this is God. Ain't that something? This is just, that's a reality that we're living in. We're living in a society dominated by white supremacy. And that's just a fact. So this is why they had made all the biblical characters, all the people of antiquity European looking. When in all reality, the Greeks and the Romans were the first Europeans to come on and rule the scene. Before that, it was people of color. And they took us down. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go back to that Exodus chapter 20. So we see the Most High say don't have no other gods before him. This image that they have set up is an image of another God. Just being honest with you. This is something that the Europeans concocted. Matter of fact, give me the first Maccabees 3 and 48. Real quick. First Maccabees chapter 3. And verse 48, they had the nerve to take this up out of the scriptures in the 1800s, but it was in the original King James translation. All right, first Maccabees chapter 3, verse 48. Let me get that real quick before we go back to the commandments. All right, how you doing? You all right? Okay, read what you got.
The book of First Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. And laid open the book of the law.
Laid open the what?
The book of the law.
The book of the law is the Bible. That's what contains all the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Most High wants every man, woman, and child to adhere to. It said they laid open the book of the law so you can understand historically this was the Greeks taking our records and laying it open. Right? Read.
Wherein the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images. And the heathen has sought to paint the likeness of their images.
So the heathen sought to paint the likeness of their image. So when you go look this up, and you can Google this, we ain't making this up. The Most High just made us sit down and study, right? This image that we got of so-called Jesus Christ as a white man is an image derived from a guy named S.W.O.R.D.S. If y'all ever watch TV, you watch Showtime, what channel did they come on? The Borgias. Y'all ever heard of that show that came on, the Borgias? I think it was HBO. About their whole family, Rodrigo Borgia, who became Alexander VI, the Pope of Rome. What he did, he took his notorious son, Caesar Borgia, and painted an image of him after he was put to death. Caesar Borgia was notorious. He dealt with he laid with his sister. He was a killer, so on and so forth. So Leonardo da Vinci, which is a straight, I'll be honest with you, these Europeans uplift him because he created a lot of things, but he was a homosexual, all of that. And this guy, Caesar Borgia, was a homosexual as well. And they put this up to be our Messiah. Absolute blasphemy. Read what you got. No, we good on that. This is going a little deeper. That's good, though. Good scripture. But let's go back to the Exodus 20. Read what you got.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Now make what?
Any graven image.
So the Most High has told us not to make any graven images. And that's what we do. We walk around with ankhs on. We walk around with crosses. We walk around with images of Jesus Christ. My grandmother had a big, nice, on her wall, this big old, like, rug with this white Jesus sitting up there. And she loved it. My uncle went to Italy. He was in the Navy. He brought home images of Mary and Jesus. And they sat in the china cabinet until I destroyed them. Because we're not supposed to do that. And I got in trouble for it. My mama didn't even invite me over to dinner for it. But she'll thank me later. Right? Read on.
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them.
See that? So the Most High told us not to bow down to these things. So for example, when December 25th come around, they say that this is this guy's birthday, right? Huh? Hey, Christmas is what? Jesus' birthday, right? According to what they say, right? So then, what is the biggest thing that you put in your home when Christmas comes around? A what? Give me that Jeremiah 10 real quick. We put a tree in a home and we say, oh, this is a representation of Jesus, his rebirth, he died and he came back. You put gifts on it and then you end up bowing down to it, right? But let's see what the Most High say, right? Read what you got.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen.
Do what?
Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
So the Most High told us not to learn the way of the heathen. The heathens are the other nations, the European, the Chinese man, the Arab, so on and so forth. We are the real children of Israel. And this is what he was telling us. Matter of fact, read the first verse.
Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Oh, who?
O house of Israel.
Oh, African?
O house of Israel.
Oh, colored?
O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. For the heathen are dismayed at them. For the custom of the people are vain.
It says the customs of the people are vain. What is something? What do you do? What is a custom? My sister right here. What's a custom? It's something you do customarily. It's a tradition, right? And traditionally, when December 25th comes around, Santa Claus is getting ready to prepare toys, so on and so forth, right? But notice this real quick before you dip out, sister. Get down to the tree.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold.
Wait a minute. They said they deck the tree. They cut the tree out of the forest and they do what?
They deck it with silver and with gold.
I want you to think about that. Back in the day, when what was that? Rudolph or Frosty the Snowman? You remember the little snowman that had the little vest on with the umbrella? And he come through and he was singing. You remember that? Because I remember that when I was little. What was that song he was singing? Silver and gold. But he was talking about the Christmas tree right there. You know what I'm saying? But he said that they do what?
They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
So they make sure that it's secure. And these is customs that we got from who? The Romans. This is not his birthday. For example, when he was born, at night, Mary and his father and his so-called father went to Jerusalem to be taxed. Right? So when they got there, they didn't have nowhere to go. So they ended up having to be in the manger. So remember hearing about the baby Christ being in the manger? Guess what? At that time of the year, around December 25th, it's cold over there as well. Let nobody tell you different. When the sun goes, it's not as bad as over here, say Michigan, right? But when the sun goes down, it gets cold in that area. How can you have a baby in an animal manger at that time? Something to think about, right? So at the end of the day, when we look up these customs, and I challenge you, go home and look up where Christmas came from, and you'll find that it's Roman paganism. It's the worship of the sun god, not the one that came to die for you. You see what I'm saying? But this is the game that Satan has played on us. But let's go back to that Exodus 20.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 6. And showing mercy verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Most High thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So the Most High said that he will visit our iniquities on the children from the third and fourth generation of those that hate him. You know how you hate the Most High? You don't keep his commandments, right? Even the Messiah, the one that we call Christ, he said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Don't take my word for it. John 14 and 15, real quick. So we claim, a lot of our people claim that they love the Lord. We love God. But we do nothing that he say. And he said he will visit our iniquities if we do not keep his commandments. Read what you got.
The book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandment.
Hold on. Is this red letter writing?
Red letter.
Read.
If ye love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter.
You see that? So the Most High Son said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So you can understand it, the one that they call Jesus Christ said, if you love me, keep the commandments. He kept the Father's commandments. That's why he was a perfect sacrifice for our nation. And guess what? He came for you first, so-called black man and woman. He came for us first. Give me that. Matthew 15 and verse 24. Real quick. There's a lot of our people, we think we nothing. You know what I'm saying? We think we ain't worth nothing and what have you. But we got great value in the sight of the Most High. Read what you got.
The book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Now, I want you to notice something. When you read the verses up ahead of that, there was a Greek woman that came that the disciples was like, man, she bothering us. And he answered and said,
I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Notice that. So the one that they call Christ said he was sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So that's us, so-called black man, woman, and child, so you can understand that. So the Messiah came down for you first and foremost to get you in proper order so you can be the ambassadors of the Most High on this earth. This is why when you look at it, on the left-hand side, which is the side of Satan, they take our best and utilize it for their good. For example, the best boxer, what nationality do he be? He be a brother, let's just be honest. The best basketball player on the face of the earth, what nationality do he be? Huh? Everybody still buying his shoes, and he retired in early 2000. You understand what I'm saying? Dr. Ben Carson, one of the first brain surgeons, right? Coming from out of the city of Detroit. Understand that. Aretha Franklin, name me a European counterpart to Aretha Franklin. Huh? You gonna give me Dolly Parton? Huh? Who can compare to any of our people when we do anything? None. And that's not no racist thing. That's not saying that we better than nobody. It's just because our forefather Abraham, through Isaac and Jacob, the Most High loved them, so he chose their children after them. And that's who we are. So we got to turn back to the Most High, man. We got to stop playing this game. We was on the continent of Africa, but you're not African. You are a Hebrew by blood. And these Europeans know it, and they won't show it to you. So this is why we out here. Give them what you got.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. And showing love to thousands of them that keep my commandments.
Notice that. If you want the Most High to love you, so-called black man, woman, and child, you must keep his commandments. All right? This ain't no religion. This ain't none of that. We're talking about the way of life. If you want to truly please the Heavenly Father and have a shot at the end to be saved, you must keep the commandments. Get me first, 2nd Ezra 8 and 3 real quick. My apocryphal. This is very, very vital for us. Because guess what? Give me Genesis 15. Hold what you got. Genesis 15:13. I'm going to share this with y'all real quick. When the so-called black man want to talk about how long we've been in America, who can give me the so-called magic number that we throw up out there? How many years we been here?
400.
They say 400, right? Did you know that that's in the Bible?
Yeah.
Where is that?
It's in the Old Testament.
That's right. Bring it out.
Genesis chapter 15 and verse 13. And he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. They shall afflict them 400 years.
Notice that. So he said that we was going to be afflicted for 400 years. Since 1619, when they established America, the 13 colonies in Jamestown. That's right. Since they established that, we have known nothing but affliction. If you think that I'm lying, just pay attention to what's going on. Right? Now, what's so funny, at the beginning of this year, they came with, I challenge, my brother, you got your phone on you?
Yeah, I do.
Do me a quick favor and Google HR 1242. Real quick. And I want you to just share it with the people real quick. So our people can see how serious this thing is. Letting you know, these people that rule over us, they know what time it is. HR 1242. Okay. Need you to bring.
1242.
1242. What it say?
Hold on, my phone's running kind of slow. Let's go come over here.
That's okay. What it say, bro? You got it?
115th Congress,
Uh-huh.
2017 to 2018, 400 years of African American history.
You said, oh, wait a minute. Did that say 400 years of African American history?
Yes, it did.
That's right. Because you know what it is? The so-called president of this United States of America got together with the 115th Congress, and they put together H.R. 1242, which is a commemoration of you being in this land for 400 years.
That's right.
So I want you to understand that. This stuff that we bringing out, this is biblical history and prophecy. So it's time for us to turn back to the Most High.
Let's go.
What you think about that, sister? Huh? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah, how you doing?
I think it's definitely time to do it. How are you?
Okay. Is that I ain't trying to front on you now, but that's your man right there standing next to you? Huh? That's your man right there? Okay. Huh? But I want you to understand this.
We gonna go there?
Hey, I ain't trying to front on you, but I'm gonna let you know your daughter of Zion. You know what I'm saying? Your daughter of Zion. You're supposed to be with a man of Zion. I'm just gonna tell you that. All right? You know, not to front on you. All right, but let's go back to the Exodus chapter 20. Let's pick up that commandment. It said that if we love the Most High, we do what? He'll show mercy if you keep the commandments, right? But let's continue to read.
Exodus chapter 20 and verse 7. Thou shalt not take the name of the Most High thy power in vain.
You shall not do what?
Take the name of the Most High thy power in vain.
What is the Most High's name, y'all? Huh? What's the Most High's name, sister? Allah? That's an Arabic and also Hebrew form of just saying God, right? So, for example, if I wanted to worship that light pole, I can make that my Allah. That's a title. But he got a name. You see what I'm saying?
Lion of Judah.
Huh? So what's his name? That's what they say the son of the Most High's name is. But that ain't even his name. So, because at the end of the day, guess what? The letter J was the last letter that the Europeans invented. And it's what? Close. It's the four letters that form the Most High's name is what we can render in English as YHWH. It's better pronounced Yahweh. So, for example, when you go to church, what's the highest praise that you give?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, right? You on it, right? Ain't that the highest praise? But guess what you're speaking when you say hallelujah? You're speaking Hebrew. Our people was in the cotton fields, the coffee fields, doing all of that madness. They would say, Kumbaya. Do y'all know what Kumbaya means? That's Hebrew again. And it means come by here, Yah. Remember? You remember if you read any of our history, we sung Negro spirituals, right? What's one of the most prominent Negro spirituals that we sung when we was in them slave fields? Swing low, sweet chariot, right? That's what it, come and carry me home. That's one of the most prominent Negro spirituals, but we don't understand the deepness of what that entails. Our forefathers knew who they were, and they knew that they had came over here as slaves, and they wanted to go back home. Harriet Tubman, so you can understand this, knew that she was an Israelite. She knew she was a Hebrew. If y'all seen that movie, Birth of a Nation? And how many seen Birth of a Nation talking about Nat Turner? Raise your hand. If you ain't seen Called Black Man, you need to go take a look at that. But with my sister, if you seen that movie, right? What did Nat Turner do?
Do you want me to write for you? She's like,
Right, but before that, what was he doing?
Preaching.
He was a preacher, right? Now, it was a very significant scene in that movie, right? They looked at little Nat Turner, and they realized, like, oh, he's so smart. The white lady was like, I want to groom him. So, remember when she took him in that room? And he looked at all them books, right? And she was like, no, I got something for you. What did she give him? She gave him the Bible. Now, a lot of our people will look at that and say, well, yeah, she used that to brainwash. No. But he learned to read it because that's what our people wanted to do. Booker T. Washington stated in his autobiography, one of the first books that our people wanted to learn to read was the Bible when they learned to read English. But the significance of that scene in that movie, she gave him the Bible and he learned it. He learned it well. So much, exactly. But he learned that Bible left and right. So they set him up as a pastor to keep the people docile. Right. But after that, and we're going to pick it up at verse 5. Read what you got.
Psalm 149 and verse 6. Psalm 149 and verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their bed.
To what?
Let them sing aloud upon their beds.
So this is King David saying, look, let the saints be joyful, let them sing aloud upon their beds. But what was he talking about right here? Read.
Let the high praises of Yahweh be in their mouth, and the two-edged sword in their hand.
You see that? And that's what Nat Turner did. He had that two-edged sword in his hand. He had the high praises of the Most High in his mouth, right? But notice this.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen. And to execute vengeance upon the heathen. I can't see it. And the punishments upon the people.
So he said to execute vengeance on the heathen. So you can understand that the heathens are the other nations outside of Israel. A lot of times we look at it and say, you being a heathen, like you just being wild. But according to the Bible, by biblical definition, heathen is another nation. So he said, have that two-edged sword, the praise of the Most High, to execute vengeance on the heathen. Read.
And the punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains.
To bind who?
To bind their kings with chains.
So Mr. Donald Trump, you getting bound with a chain. And they know that. This is why they going out their way to try to destroy you. Let's pause. Y'all seen that movie, The Purge? Anybody went to see the new movie, The Purge? That new Purge. Yes, the new one.
The first purge?
Yeah, it's called The First Purge. Did y'all check that out? So let me ask you a basic question. In that particular movie, who was they coming after? The so-called black man and the so-called Latino man, which is a part of us as well, the colored, right? Why was they coming to try to destroy us? Absolutely, right? So they understood. They said, well, wait a minute, we got too many resources. We're giving them too many food stamps on it. We got to get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? But this is deeper than this. They understand that spirit that they was putting in that movie was showing you what they're going to get ready to try to do in the near future. So I want you to understand this. Everything that these Europeans, when they put these movies out there, it's ran by the so-called Jew. Hollywood is ran by the fake Jew. He's not the real Jew, all right? But he puts different messages in these movies before they come to pass. So he can, and you got to pay attention to that. So get ready, all right? Hold what you got. Get me Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. Let's show our people what's coming down the pipe. I'm just going to keep it real with you. When you get a chance, Google Rex 84 or the King Alfred plan. Google that and go read what these people got planned for us. In 8 hours, I'm going to just give you a basic summary. In 8 hours, they have their system, their military, their local police, their state police, all synchronized where they can round every last one of us up in 8 hours. Check that out if you think I'm just blowing smoke. So it's a very serious thing. Without the Most High, you ain't going to make it out of this thing. So read what you got. Jeremiah 30 and verse 7.
Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble.
It's the time of who?
Of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it.
Now notice that. It said it's the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob is your biblical name, so-called black man, woman, and child. Understand that. You go back to the 12 tribes of Israel, despite what people tell us. So all we asking for y'all to do is just come back to your nationality. Come back to your power. All right, my brother. Did you get that brother's contact? Hey, brother, did we get your contact info? Can we get it? Can we stay in touch, brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it's time for y'all. My brother, what you see right here?
Around here, but yeah.
What you see?
Hey, what's going on?
Huh? You scoping it out? Talk to me. Share some knowledge with me. What's up?
Emmett Till.
Okay, we spiritual too. We ain't into religion as well. Get me Romans 7 and 14 real quick. We ain't into that either, brother. We into biblical history. We into our history, the whole nine. Because the Bible is actually our historical record. So we feel you. We gotta be spiritual. But what does it mean to really be spiritual? That's the question. What does it mean to be spiritual? Okay. 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 Negativity. Okay. Well, what about the Most High? Do you believe in the Heavenly Father, the one that created everything, or how? What's your thoughts on that?
I don't believe in Jesus.
But I'm walking around here checking.
But do you believe there's a creator?
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's possible.
I'm agnostic. Start by your name.
Definitely, right?
I'm agnostic.
You're agnostic? Okay, so on a basic level, let's just keep it real, right? So let me ask you this before I go there. Do you deal with science? You deal with science. So one of the basic premises of biology is what? Matter. But what's like the basic premise? Right. And also that no life
we'll get you in touch.
can come from a non-living thing, right? So they specify, even they understand that life cannot derive from something that's not living. So when we look at this earth, when we look at our bodies, and we see how miraculously the human body is made, obviously there had to be some type of blueprint maker to put that together, right? Whether you believe that there's a creator or not, that in itself should make you think, well, wait a minute, right? When you look at the construction of the eye, do you know that the 4K and the 5K cameras are still not capable to do what your physical eye can do? That the camera is actually a dupe. They actually try to mimic what your very eye can do. So that shows that there has to be some type of creator. When you look at how far the sun is from the earth, right? If it was an inch closer, what would happen? You're going to burn up. If it was an inch farther, what would happen? It would freeze. So now we can see that every day it rises in the east and it does its thing. It's at a perfect balance. So somebody had to do it. That's all I'm saying, my brother. Not the front on you. But you know what I'm saying? That's something to really think about. Right. I mean, he said that was going to happen. That was, you know what I'm saying, it was going to come those mockers in the last day. That was going to mock that. Matter of fact, get me Psalms 14 and the first verse. Did you have a scripture in mind you wanted to share? Yeah, it's definitely in there. It's definitely in there. That's for sure. And I'm, again, I'm not trying to front on you or nothing. This, you know what I'm saying, have a good dialogue with you because you're our brother. But it's just something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Because I know because of what the false religious system has given us, because of how they have robbed us, misled us, miseducated us, it makes us hard to trust it. And we understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to keep it real with you, my brother. When you go and you study this Bible according to like history and then look at it from a standpoint of who we are, it'll blow your mind. And these Europeans, they know these things. They know that they ain't got nothing to do with this book. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you, I understand that. But I'm going to tell you something. The scriptures tell you to study to show yourself approved. So the thing is, you got to study. So this is what we do. The fact that the Most High woke us up and showed us, okay, wait a minute. We Hebrews, when they took us from the west coast of Africa, but there's history trail that can be traced back. That we come from Israel, then we went into Africa, then we came over here. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, they try to tamper with it, but we go back. You can go back to the source and you can get the information. It just takes study. You know what I'm saying? But read what you got. Psalm chapter 14, verse 1.
Psalm chapter 14 and verse 1. The fool have said in his heart, there is no power. There is no God. The fool have said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good.
See that? So it says a fool said that there's no God. Not trying to front on you, you know what I'm saying? Because we understand our people have been beat down so much, you kind of turn away from it like, man, I'm tired of it. But I'm going to tell you straight up, that's our power. The Most High God that created everything, he said, I'm your God. You understand what I'm saying? When you fully understand the history and who he's talking to, he's our God. Matter of fact, give me Amos 3 and 1. Real quick. The book of Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. It's all good. Because again, man, we understand, but just looking at the creation of the earth, brother, somebody had to put this together. You know what I'm saying? When you think about it, like the sister was bringing out as far as the body is when you study it by itself, how you can heal, the body can heal itself, brother. Proper diet, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? It's something else. You want to get buff? What you do? You go work out 6 to 9 to 10 months, you be cut up. You know what I'm saying? Look at how that's put together. That's a design. You know what I'm saying? Read what you got.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear the word that the Most High has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So the Most High got a problem with the real children of Israel, which is us, right? Read.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Read that again.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So the Most High God said, look, man, you the only ones I know from all the families of the earth. And these other nations, they know these things. Trust and believe. This is why they putting together certain programs to get ready to try to destroy us. So we got to pay attention to that. My brother, you seen the movie The Purge? That new one? What was they trying to do in that movie? Right. Why? You understand what I'm saying? This is the question that our people don't even ask. Why they coming for us like that? Damn, y'all brought us over here as slaves. We worked for y'all for over 200 years free of charge. You understand what I'm saying? Do you not understand that the United States of America is rich because of your slavery and your slavery and our slavery? Do you know that that's how they got rich? Think about if you owned a company for 250 years and you got, what they say, about half a million of us came over here to America. The others went to South America. So you got 500,000, let's just say hypothetically 500,000 workers for you for free for over 200 years. How would your bankroll look? Huh? It'd be trillions. This is why they can raise the debt ceiling. Okay, well look, we're gonna raise it a little bit more higher. Yeah, okay, we're $33 trillion in debt, but they still got money on top of money on top of money. Donald Rumsfeld could say, well, yeah, the Department of Defense, we don't know what happened to that $1 trillion. $1 trillion just come up missing? Are you kidding me? We still walking around, to be honest with you, with some of these nice designer jeans. You know, your forefathers is picking some of that cotton. You know what I'm saying? This is how deep this thing is. You know what I'm saying? But he said, I got a problem with you, old family of Israel. Read.
I will punish you for all your iniquities. Can two walk together except they agree?
You see that? So he said he was going to punish us, man. Like, for example, my brother, you familiar with the history of Emmett Till, right?
Yeah.
What happened with Emmett Till? You already know what I want. Right. Huh? They said he whistled at a white lady, right? That's what they said. Right, but guess what? It even came out on that I think she admitted on her deathbed that she was lying. Ain't that something? But even before that, absolutely. Brought on her deathbed and said, well, yeah, I was lying. But then you're a 14-year-old child. You know what I'm saying? The only child of his mother put to death mercilessly. Look at what they did to that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? The so-called black man, we really was supposed to tear this place down. You understand what I'm saying? Well, now we so docile now, you get to marching for about a week. Black Lives Matter, and then you go home and that's it. Like ain't nothing happened. But guess what? It's biblical prophecy that these type of things will happen. So, for example, what happened with Trayvon Martin's killer? Nothing. But I'm saying, when he went to court, what did they say? Not guilty, right? When the dudes that killed Emmett Till went to court, not guilty. But guess what? It's written.
Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 4. Thus saith the Most High thy power, feed the flock of the slaughter.
He said, do what?
Feed the flock of the slaughter.
So the Most High said, feed the flock of the slaughter. The feeding part he's talking about is feeding with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. But he said that we were the flock of the slaughter. So when you look at that purge, they wanted to slaughter the so-called black man. And then they gave you a 12-hour period representing 12 tribes. Understand that. To go ahead and kill as many blacks as possible. So he said, feed the flock of the slaughter. Read.
Whose possessors slay them.
Whose what?
Whose possessors slay them.
What's your last name, my brother? Your slave last name? Huh? Miller? Miller. Now you know that's some of your European madness right there. My last name is Murphy. It's Irish. The slave last name, right? Straight Irish, right? And then guess what? I traced my lineage down to a slave plantation down there in Louisiana, the Murphy plantation. And that's where we all come from. You know what I'm saying? We all come from different plantations owned by these different Europeans. So, for example, when you possess a car, you get what to it? A title. What goes onto the title? Your name. It shows ownership. So he said, whose possessors slay them
and hold themselves not guilty.
And hold themselves what?
And hold themselves not guilty.
Notice that, brother. Pay attention, all right? Take care, my brother. Did you see that, sister? It said they hold themselves not guilty. How was this written almost 2,000 years ago, and we live in this to this very day? You understand what I'm saying? Give me Isaiah 42 and verse 21 real quick. When you look at the prison population in the United States of America, what's the percentage of so-called black men and women in the prisons? What? It's higher than any other demographic, right? My brother, what do you think it is? Huh? You say about 90? To be honest, when you look at it, we make up almost over 50% of the prison population. But guess what the numbers is as far as our population in the United States of America? About, huh?
The minority.
We're the minority, right? We're about 13 to 14% as far as population is in the United States of America. It's about 45 million of us here.
That's in America.
That's America. So how do we make up about 14, let's just say 15% of the people in the United States of America, but we over 50% when it comes to the prisons? What's going on with that? Don't sound right, right? But let's see something. The Most High said was going to happen to us. Isaiah 42 and verse 21. Verse 22.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared and whole.
It said that we are a people robbed and spoiled. What did they rob us of? They robbed you of your true heritage, right? They robbed you of your language. They robbed you of your land, right? Hold that. Right now, you got people over there in our land of Israel, right? That's running around talking about they Jews. They went back over there in 1948. As you can see, this book right here called The 13th Tribe. You can look this up. There was only 12 tribes in the nation of Israel. But these people studied, an honest so-called Jew, studied his history and understood, wait a minute, it's only 12 tribes. We don't come from none of them, so we got to be the 13th tribe. And guess what they did? They found him dead in his apartment. You know what I'm saying? So this thing is deeper than what a lot of our people perceive. But it said that this is a people robbed and spoiled. They have taken everything from us, right? But read on.
And they are hid in prison houses.
They are hid where?
In prison houses.
It said we're hid in prison houses, right? Right now, you know what's saying? Our sisters make up, when you do the ratio, it's about maybe 8 to maybe 10 women to every man. You understand that, right? We are well outnumbered by sisters. They can't find a husband for nothing. Let's be honest. That sister say, really, I've been looking for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That would be funny, but on the real. But why is that? The majority of them locked up. A lot of them turning gay and homosexual now. And we ain't scared to talk about that. We don't care that they made that cool. That's a complete abomination, right? But let's just be real. A lot of our men don't want to be men. We don't want to take care of the home. So that makes a sister sit back like that. I can't find a good man nowhere. You understand? But he said that they are all hid in prison houses. Read.
They are for a prey and none deliver it.
It said therefore a prey and none deliver. When a lion wants his prey, what do? He stoke it out, he look. He stalk it, right? And then he going for it. When that gazelle caught slipping, he ate. And there ain't nothing he can do about it. And that's what the so-called black man is. We're a lion in captivity. Like remember the cowardly lion of the Wizard of Oz? What did he need? He needed heart, brother. So the so-called black man need heart. Huh? He put him up. He was scared as I don't know what. Didn't want to fight a thing. Bluffing, right? So when you look at us right in the neighborhood, we don't got no problem killing one another, shooting one another, robbing one another. Huh? That's a fake fight. But I guarantee you brothers won't storm that Pentagon. Huh? They won't. Exactly. But this is a deep thing. It said, therefore, pray and none deliver. Don't nobody care about you. When you catch a felony, is they really trying to restore you? Hell no. They gonna try to leave you out to dry. You can't find a job. You can't find good housing. And you might have did something 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and you done changed your whole life around. Right, absolutely. Why did they do that? The brothers was going in there getting smart, learning a law, picking up trades, being able to come out and be. See, this is the thing. What is a prison supposed to be for? Rehabilitation, right? Come on. So you're supposed to go there, pay your punishment by sitting in that 6x10 or whatever the box is, and learn. Okay, I don't want to do that again. Okay, let me go in here and get a trade. I was out here robbing and selling crack because I didn't have money. I didn't have a father to show me how to be a man. So let me go in here and get a trade so I can get out and be a man. But they don't give you that. They say they are people robbed and spoiled. Read.
For a spoil and none say, restore. Who among you will give ear to this?
It said, now mind you, the scripture, the Most High is posing this thing to you. Isaiah was written almost 2,500 years ago. And he said, who will hear this? So this is why we got to come out here and hit these corners and bring this thing out. Our pastors ain't going to do it. Just going to be honest with you. They're going to sit there. They're going to have you come in there to their Sunday service, give your tithes, give you a good couple songs, right? And then you're going to leave feeling good, but you ain't learned a thing. You don't know who you are. You really don't know how to really please the Heavenly Father, really. You know, okay, I got to be a good person. I got to care and this, that, and the third. Those are good principles, but it's deeper than that. There's commandments to be kept, right? So let's go back to the Exodus chapter 20. Pick it up at verse 8. Like, for example, the sun getting ready to set, according to the Most High's time clock, when the sun goes down, that's the end of a day and the beginning of a new one. All right, but the so-called white man say that they begins at, midnight, right? To show you how backwards they is. They start their new year when? When did the new year start for the so-called white man? The dead of winter. You blowing off guns, fireworks, they're going to ball dropping, all that. But ain't nothing started new. It just show you how backwards this thing is. But let me show you something. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Exodus 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Most High your power.
Notice that. Now, let's be honest. When do we go to church? Sunday. I challenge you. And I guarantee you can hit me in my jaw if you don't find this answer. If you look up the definition for Sunday, it would tell you it's the first day of the week. You know that, right? All right, so he said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. What day did the one that they call Jesus go to church? Do y'all know? Huh? What scripture is that? Can you give me a scripture? Yeah, get that. What day did the one that they call Christ? When did he go to the church house? That's right. Why? That's the Sabbath, right? Because he was an Israelite. He was an Hebrew. He knew that he had to keep the fourth commandment. But we just read right here when it says, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. That's the fourth commandment. Like, we all know that you're not supposed to commit adultery. If you got a wife, ain't no way in the world I'm supposed to go dealing with your wife. That's evil. You know what I'm saying? But this society makes songs about it. Secret lover, as we lay, all this madness, right? They promote evil. But guess what? The fourth commandment is important too. He said, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Read what you got.
The book of Luke, chapter 4 and verse 16. And he came to Nazareth where he had been brought up. And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
So the Messiah went to so-called church on the Sabbath day. So this is really the Sabbath day. They made sure to hold the African-American festival on the Sabbath day. To be honest with you, we ain't supposed to be doing no buying or selling on this day. No cooking. You know what I mean? This is a day that we're supposed to have consecrated and dedicated to the Most High. To sit down and learn about His Word. To pray, That's right. But guess what the Romans did in March 7th, 321, and you can look this up. Constantine the Great said, no, we ain't following them Hebrews laws. We're not dealing with that. We're going to deal with Sunday. So do y'all know that the names of the week is named after the Roman gods? Yeah. Sunday is named after the sun. You can look it up in the dictionary. Exactly. Monday named after the moon. They so-called gods. That's right. They're not the real God. You understand what I'm saying? All the way to Saturday, they call it Saturday. It's Saturn.
The Bible talks about false gods.
That's right. He told us not to worship them. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, get me that.
So we can't wait till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Right.
Another form of worship.
Right. Absolutely. Give me what you got. Give me Deuteronomy 28, verse 64 real quick. Hold what you got right there. Guess what, sister? It was prophesied that we was going to come over here and we was going to worship all these other gods besides the true and living creator as a punishment for what we did against the Heavenly Father. And we fulfilling it today. Read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68 and 64. And the Most High shall scatter thee among all the people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
He said we was going to serve other gods, which neither our fathers have known. Do you hear a pastor talking about some other God that's being worshipped in the earth? No. They'll tell you, well, we all follow the same. There's only one God. We all believe in the same God. Guess what? There's other gods that's worshiping this earth. There's only one creator, true indeed. And he got one son that came to die for us. But there's other gods that's worship.
If it wasn't other gods, he wouldn't have no reason to say, do not worship other gods.
That's right. So he said, I'm going to scatter you from one end of the earth, and you're going to serve other gods. Even what?
Even wood and stone.
And guess what? Our people, when you look at this and get understanding, he said even wood and stone. The wood represents Christianity, I hate to say it, and the stone represents Islam. And this is what those are the two biggest religions that our people was caught up in. That Kaaba stone. That's right. That's right. But this is what we caught up in. That's right. That's right.
And we definitely do that here.
Absolutely.
You got people called like American Idol.
American Idol, right? And think about that. They named a show American Idol. I know it sounds crazy, sister, but you got to really look at it from a simplistic level. Yeah, it's straight idol worship.
Michael Jackson, idolized.
And what did they do? They made a gigantic statue. You know what's over there in Asia? Where they made a big statue of Michael Jackson?
Michael Jordan too.
Michael Jordan as well. When you become a celebrity, then you get that statue. You get that idol worship.
So what they do, they praise the entertainer more than they praise God.
Then they praise the Most High.
God doesn't like that because he's not getting because they talent come from it.
They come from him, absolutely. And then on top of that, the music that they sing ain't giving him praise or honor at all. They're praising the flesh, money, you name it. Anything besides him. And then the people turn around and worship him, and people fall out. Like, I remember when I was little and Michael Jackson was in his prime, and I'll be sitting there watching the concerts, and people falling out, crying. I'm talking about stone cold passing out. How crazy is that? Just to see this brother down there, yeah, he was a good entertainer.
But they don't want to holler and fall out.
Exactly. But this is the condition of the so-called black man. That's why we got to wake up. So, my brother, do we got your contact, man? Get that brother contact information. Holla at us, man. We need strong brothers like you that have that faith, brother. And you too, sister. That's right. I'm not. I'm saying it's time for we got to wake up. Give me that Romans 13 and 11. We gotta turn back to the Most High.
We'll be here.
We'll be at the Northwest Activity Center. If you familiar with that, you familiar with the Northwest Activity Center on Myers?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be there.
Y'all already know knowledge is power.
That's right.
I already know that.
That's right.
And a lot of people run from where it's coming from.
That's right.
It shouldn't matter
Right.
as long as it's the truth.
Right. I mean, I know we come out here, like, you know what I'm saying? People might see me they look at you crazy, you got a garment on, you got something wrapped around your head, and they say, oh, you're a terrorist. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest. That's how people look at it. They got cardboard all on the ground. What is this? You know what I'm saying? But they don't realize, man, we are peculiar people. We supposed to be looking different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But turn back, sister. Hey, get into your scriptures, learn your history. Google, look it up. Look at what we talking about. And go research it.
All right.
So, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
We want to see you next.
What's up, my brother? What you see right there? Huh? I hear you. The dietary law? What you think about that? It's true? Why you think it's true?
Because I know it's
Why? Is it based on the scriptures or just based on observation?
they have no dietary benefits,
Right.
and they tend to think we're trying to eat them. They start based on our bodies.
Right. All praises. Right. Right. That's right. But guess what? Do you know what's your thoughts on the Bible? You believe in the Bible? Just be honest, it's all good. Okay. All praise. You must have been listening to Killer Priest back in the day. Huh? All praise. But let me share with you, if you listen to that track, he said something about that. Read what you got. Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. So this is going to coincide with the knowledge that you just made born. Bring it out.
Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7. And the swine, though he divideth the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. For their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcass shall you not touch. They are unclean to you. These shall you eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Notice that. So now that pretty much then cut the so-called black man's diet, you know what I'm saying, in half. All right? Because these Europeans have made us think, okay, I'm eating good, I'm eating high on the hog, I got a nice piece of honey-baked ham, right? I got some nice shrimp scampi, all right? And you think you eating good, but in all reality, you eating things that is destroying us. The Most High gave us the instructions so we could live long.
Yeah, he gave the dietary law in the Bible.
That's right.
A lot of people don't know that a lot of fruit have like watermelon has apple.
Right. Right.
There's no disease lives apple.
That's right.
You eat the fruit that is God provided.
Right.
You ain't get the disease
That's right. So you know when the Most High first created everything, do you know that all of the animals, including mankind, were all vegetarian? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. But then they turn, again, now the Most High allowed us to eat a certain measure of meat. We can eat meat, but you gotta have it in measure. We turn around, if we had the money, you'd be eating a 20-ounce T-bone steak every day. You'd be eating a 20-piece fried jumbo shrimp every day if you could. You know what I'm saying? Remember Pimp C said it. He said, I ate so much shrimp I got iodine poisoning. You know what I'm saying? He bragged about that in his rap. But he was destroying himself. You eating all these things that the Most High told you not to eat. You understand?
Where did he die from?
Well, that's kind of speculated. I think they were saying he died from the drugs. You know what I'm saying? But we think that people put him to death because he was kind of speaking a lot about different things.
Okay, I'll get up.
Speaking out about that homosexuality.
You know what I'm saying?
He's speaking out about that homosexuality.
Yeah, he was speaking out about that. All of that. So it's a deep thing for the so-called black man, woman, and child to turn back to your original heritage, your original culture. Did y'all have some questions for y'all break out? I see y'all looking. Just observe. Go ahead, my brother. Right. You know they brought that statue here, right? Down there. Yeah, exactly. And guess what? The House of Satan, they said, oh, we like Detroit. We like the spirit of Detroit.
When they unveiled the statue, they had two men killed.
Ain't that something?
When they unveiled it, so they said that lifestyle represents
Wickedness. Right.
Now, in his stomach, his belly, where they have to have the symbol of the hospital to keep it naked.
Right.
So that symbol is, so that's why you don't fuck.
That's right.
This is why you should be on that diet.
Absolutely. And then if you get sick, that's right. Because if you get sick, you can correct. Even the Greeks understood that. They understood, their so-called top philosophers understood that if you eat properly, your food will become your medicine. Then you got herbs and different things that you can take to heal yourself. No, they want to subscribe. These people, these Europeans want to subscribe to you a pill so you can keep coming to it. And so all it does is mask the symptom. It doesn't heal you.
Teach that you, brother. Teach me.
Right.
Shut up.
Right. That's right. 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 Absolutely. That's a law. That's right. But when you look at the European, I hate to say it, how do they like their steak? Give it to them rare. They'll take it just like that. Give it to me. Yeah, they like it like that. Let's be honest. You like it like that, right? No, you don't like that? I mean, a lot of our people like it like that, though.